Hello! A new video is in the works, a critical analysis of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And as you can probably tell from the title of this video, it's quite the positive analysis. Once completed, the video will go up as planned, but it's taking longer to put together than I originally estimated. A lot longer. So, I've decided to release the video in sections. This will provide my viewers with content, will hopefully keep the channel alive during the editing process, and will prime everyone as to what to expect from the full video prior to release. Keep in mind that these were meant to be part of a single whole, so there will be incomplete analyses and a lack of conclusions in some parts. Once the full video is out, there will be follow-up videos inspired by it, including another Godzilla vs. Kong analysis. Yay! And one last thing. This introduction will be at the start of each video, so if you want to skip it next time, slide on over to this time here. Right, all that said, I hope you enjoy this section of what will become Godzilla, King of the Monsters. A great joy. Answer me this. What does the Orca do? The first time I watched King of the Monsters, I got the impression the Orca was some sort of master controller, and holding it was the key to controlling the Titans. However, this is clearly not the case. It is described by Sam Coleman as such.
The bioacoustics of different Titans to create the Orca's signal. Creatures respond to, attracting them, repelling them, even calming them down. It's pretty remarkable, actually.
In the film, Emma Russell uses the Orca to calm Mothra down after several failed attempts, to wake up Rodan, and to wake up and piss off Ghidorah. She also hints at a greater use of the device during her speech.
Using the Orca, we will return to a natural order where we coexisted in balance with the Titans.
Later, Madison uses the Orca to stop the Titans causing havoc. Not directly, but via interrupting Ghidorah by, once again, pissing him off. The Orca is a powerful tool, but it certainly isn't the great controller I assumed it was. Moreover, it may be doing even less than what we are shown. During the Mothra temple scene, Emma Russell calms Mothra down just as Mothra is diving down to do something. I have no idea what exactly, but it looks menacing. Emma enters the right frequency, Mothra stops short, and the connection is obvious to everyone watching. Is it not strange we never see this happen again? Both Rodan and Ghidorah are awoken, but never controlled so eloquently. If anything, we get the opposite effect. So if the Orca can't control Titans, what does it do? The Orca appears to act like an enormous alarm clock. Given how the Orca signal is made, I can imagine the Titans waking up wondering why Godzilla sounds so weird.
Emma combined the bioacoustics of Godzilla with a human. That's how she made the signal for the Orca.
But if this is the case, why did Mothra stop attacking? Well, what else happened in the scene? As I already stated, Mothra is clearly a kind and caring soul who would definitely be swayed by a mother and daughter embracing. But why would a newborn Titan care for people, especially when her only interaction with people so far has been... Yes, this is her first experience of people, in this lifetime. Of Mothra's actions in King of the Monsters, only her heading to a waterfall to cocoon can be seen as instinctual, the act of a newborn looking for somewhere to grow. But flying over to Godzilla's resting place and talking to him? That's not instinctual, and neither is fighting by his side against Ghidorah. So why did she do these things? In previous iterations of Mothra, and before Godzilla vs. Kong misused it, genetic memory was a theory used to explain why Mothra, regardless of how many times she died, was always born ready to fight the good fight. Mothra didn't just get her thickness from her mother, but her memories of fighting alongside the Big G against Ghidorah too. And if Mothra remembers that, she will certainly remember the humans who worshipped her, who built temples in her honor, and potentially danced and sang for her. A kind, caring Mothra with generations of memories to look back on will have enough empathy to back off when confronted with a mother protecting her daughter. Mothra may even have memories of a time when she too was mothered, and such memories will pull on the strings of her gigantic heart. Beyond the sparing of tiny beings and their mushy moments, there is also the fact that Mothra isn't woken up by the Orca. She hatches of her own accord, which gets somewhat washed over by the whole calming down bit. This only goes towards evidencing that the Orca may not be doing as much as we think. This isn't the only scene that does this. Later, over at Fort Bravo, Godzilla started flashing his intimidation display. The suggested explanation is this.
He's looking for something out there. It could be the Orca.
But we see later that the Orca needs to be heavily boosted to get its signal to go any kind of distance. Hell, it needed stadium speakers to be heard a few hundred miles away by monsters that can hear each other thousands of miles away. And it wasn't making any noise at the time either. From this we can ascertain Goji wasn't reacting to the Orca. So what was he reacting to? I believe there is another story going on underneath what we are being shown in King of the Monsters. Mothra is already waking up when Emma enters the temple, and soon after hatching, she's off to cocoon herself. Not long after this, Godzilla begins to flash his intimidation display as a warning before heading off to Antarctica. These two events seem disconnected, but there is something that happens in Antarctica that leads me to believe Godzilla and Mothra were in fact activated by Ghidorah.
Hey guys, I'm getting an EKG reading.
The first time I saw this, I assumed this meant Ghidorah was waking up. On my second viewing, I realized the reading was seen before the Orca was used, so I instead presumed this was meant to indicate that
Godzilla is approaching.
Godzilla is approaching. Godzilla is approaching. Godzilla is approaching. Godzilla is approaching!
But with subsequent watches and my noticing the Mothra and Goji issues with the Orca narrative, I returned to my initial assumption. The EKG reading was from Ghidorah. He was already waking up, and Godzilla and Mothra knew it. With Titans being sensitive to sound and all that, Godzilla heard Ghidorah waking up and used his intimidation display to warn the humans, the tiny beings that were around when Ghidorah first threatened the world. The offspring of a Mothra who helped fight the three-headed terror detected the same signal Godzilla heard and began to hatch. Mothra would have been reborn, cocooned, and then emerged in time to help Godzilla around the time Ghidorah escaped the ice. Godzilla himself would have arrived long before then and would be standing over Ghidorah's icy tomb, ready and waiting to kick his many heads in. So why didn't we see this? And why present the Orca as being more powerful than it actually is? Every Godzilla film has had some underlying theme to do with human choices. More often than not, someone does the wrong thing that leads to monsters attacking, and either they or someone else has to do something right that helps save the day. From evil businessmen to aliens to misguided scientists to time travelers, the Godzilla series is festooned with bad choices. The Orca is just one more of these misguided, misinformed choices. But it's not the only one in King of the Monsters. Monarch tries to sedate Mothra and delay her birth. The eco-terrorists break out and wake up Ghidorah before Godzilla arrives to keep him down. The military try to solve all the issues by blowing everything up with the oxygen destroyer, leading only to Godzilla's near demise. And of course, the big one, Emma Russell forcing nature to work faster than it wants to by waking the Titans up early, causing chaos. Actions performed in arrogance Even actions meant in good faith can lead to terrible consequences. But with a little more time and contemplation, with a little more heart put into it, the same actions can lead to good deeds. Monarch forces follow Godzilla's lead and attack Ghidorah, saving lives. They also lure Rodan away from his island, which admittedly does probably kill people, but it saves more from the oncoming storm of Ghidorah. Madison uses the Orca to distract Ghidorah, halting his global destruction. And Monarch takes a page out of the military's book by blowing stuff up, this time with the intention of healing rather than hurting. Bombs are like hammers. They're useful as long as you know when and where to use them. Funnily enough, the nuke scene in King of the Monsters answers a question raised in 2014, whilst also using that film to bolster its own narrative about negative choices. The military in 2014 tried to lure the Mutos and Godzilla with nuclear weapons, but it all went wrong, so we never saw the plan come to fruition. Thanks to King of the Monsters, we now know what would have happened. San Fran would have been a rad pan. One last theme that often gets reused in Godzilla-related media concerns environmental impact, and King of the Monsters definitely has a finger in that particular pie. In the Monsterverse, the oh-so-subtle subtext is climate change and the choices people make that affect it. The Titans were already representative of natural disasters, and this film puts that to good use. Sleeping monsters woken by wrecking or trying to control the environment wreak havoc on the world.
The Titans are triggering earthquakes, wildfires, tsunamis, and disasters we don't even have names for yet.
Even the idea of a horror rising out of the Antarctic ice is somewhat on the nose as a reference to the devastation melting ice caps could cause. The environment is an often referenced subject, and by now should be a tired old theme. But King of the Monsters is a monument to the phrase, "It's not what you have, but how you use it." The film is packed with old tropes and themes, and it uses them all very well, just like everything else in the film. Which leads me all the way back to this scene. I haven't spoken about it much at all, but having gone through the film, and some other things, this scene may have quite the significance. Mark Russell watching and listening to a pack of wolves hunting in the Colorado wilds might not seem like much of a muchness, but there's a whole story going on in the background here. At the time of King of the Monsters release, Colorado had no native wolf population after it was wiped out by hunters in the 1940s. But wolves have been seen popping in from neighbouring states ever since. King of the Monsters goes a bit further and has a whole pack visiting the state. Such an occurrence would absolutely draw the attention of a naturalist like Mark Russell. His happy, contented studying of this unique natural situation is upset by the arrival of Monarch, and the film progresses from there. Given what the film has to say about nature, you could say wolves returning to Colorado is the natural order of things trying to re-establish itself, with Mark and the wolves representing people and nature coexisting peacefully. The arrival of Monarch is the almost brutish interference of uncaring humanity, scattering the wolves and upsetting the peace. But this isn't just one more representation about our relationship with nature. Mark Russell at this early point in the film has been through some things, and hasn't dealt with them very well. He is a troubled man, but out here doing what he loves, he is in a good place, enjoying nature's special moments. He is at one with the natural world, something he will soon have to learn to do again with the Titans. This is, funnily enough, what Emma was trying to force on the world, and once again shows that, despite everything, the two of them were very much alike. Bizarrely, this scene is also prophetic. King of the Monsters came out at the end of May 2019. In July of 2019, a wolf was seen making his home in Colorado. A year later, in 2020, a pack of wolves came to the state, just like in the film. And by the end of the year, a petition was voted for to begin officially reintroducing wolves. A film about living with creatures that, well, as Sarah Zauer put it,
These are not monsters, they are animals.
about letting them return to their natural habitats to help restore the balance of nature and undo the damage humanity has wrought, sort of maybe predicted the same thing happening in real life. And who says this film is stupid? Deep characterizations, expansive world building, fundamentally integrated themes, envisioned inspirations, intricate subtextual storytelling, respect for the past and preparation for the future, magnificent visuals, exciting fights, inspiring musical choices, and a partridge in a pear tree. Maybe not that last one, but the rest is true. So the next time someone says to you that Godzilla King of the Monsters is a bad film, you can tell them why they're wrong. All hail Godzilla, King of the Monsters, a bloody good film and a great joy to watch. Alright, one more time.
Up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky. Godzilla, Godzilla, and Godzuki.
No, 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 no. And we are done. That was the last part of this series. My next upload will be the entire single 2+ hour video, coincidentally on the anniversary of the film's release. I hope you will be around to give the completed video a watch. Until then, feel free to do all the YouTube things and maybe give my Etsy store a gander, link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again for the big release.